And hear these words for our chalice lighting from Nozoki Shenge. I have found the goddess in myself, and I love her fiercely. I have found the goddess in myself, and I love her fiercely. We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with anticipation in your step, with joy in your heart, and with hope in your being. We bid you welcome, who come as seekers of a new way, who come to explore, to grow, and to learn. We bid you welcome, who entered this space as a homecoming, who have found here space for your spirit, and who have found in these people a family. So whoever you are, wherever you are, Colorado or North Carolina or New Hampshire or our beloved Vermont, whoever you are, a newcomer, an old timer, we are all friends on this sacred path, and we bid you welcome to our time of worship together. So glad you're here. In one of our favorite hymns, we were doing a survey of which hymns people like, and one of our favorite hymns we're about to share with you. This, and Julian's going to play. I will put the words back up so we can all sing along. It's For the of the Earth. Know and love this one. So here we go.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all to thee we raise, is our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight, source of all to thee we raise, is our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour, of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all to thee we raise, this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild, source of all to thee we raise, this our hymn of grateful praise.
Thank you so much, Julaine, for leading us on that one. And as I said, we're putting together our list of some of our favorite hymns to have a repertoire. And if you haven't submitted your favorites yet, it's not too late. Tina Wood, thank you, and Sharon are compiling them. So send your suggestions on to our team working on that project. So it's time now for our children's story. It's time for all ages. And it's just really special that we have Jude on the call here, who is Neva's mom, and all of the connections, the people who have nurtured us. This is a moment in our annual turning of the cycle of the year when we can pause and remember those who have nurtured. So Neva is going to lead us in a little fun. And I said at the beginning, it's not too late if you need a piece of paper and some kind of writing instrument for this. So if you don't have one, you can quick run and get one. And while you're at it, you can get a rattle or some kind of percussion instrument. We'll need that later. So I will mute myself.
Okay, well, fun to do something interactive, so have your piece of paper. So let's take a moment to come into our bodies. As Melon said, I'm a dancer, so it's like always coming back to the body, coming home to the body. And I invite you to close your eyes and call to mind first your mother, and if possible, your grandmother, and if possible, your great-great-grandmother. So bring into your body, and that brings them into the present moment with you, your mother lineage. And as complicated as sometimes these relationships might be, these are the people who actually brought us into the world. And so as we're calling them to mind, see if it's possible to experience this gratitude that this person actually fed you, actually brought you forth, carried you in their bodies, actually birthed you into the world. And if there's someone else in your life too who has served as a mother figure for you, call them here too, welcome them too. And I invite you now to write that person's name or those people's names on your piece of paper, or if you would prefer to draw an image that represents them, then let's presence them in our community today. Let's bring them into this service. So take a moment to do that. Write the name of your mother or grandmother or great-grandmother or mother figure. And welcome them, really welcome them into the space. Welcome their energy into the space. Invite them to be with us as we worship this morning, as we celebrate the divine feminine. So we thought what we could do in order to be able to share these is you can hold it up to the screen, and we can hold them, maybe you can hold it in a way that you can see the screen and the name, and we'll take the music, we'll take a moment to be with these and just look around and see if you can feel the presence of all of our mother lineages that have made it possible for us to be here. And you, even though you're muted, you could say out loud in your space a few names you see. I see a Margaret, an Anne, Mary Ellen, Helen. So take some time to read the names you can see and offer these beautiful people gratitude. Anna, Mary, Joanne, Bertha, Val. And if it feels right to you, we can say a big thank you. Thank you to all of the mothers and the grandmothers in this world. Thank you for all of the work you do. Okay.
Thank you, Neva.
So,
And Matt is offered to play for us, and I asked him to play "Let It Be" because the story behind "Let It Be," it's got that line in it, "Mother Mary comes to me," and people often assume that's Jesus's mother, not Mary in the biblical lineage of Jesus. And Paul said, nope, it was my real mom. I had a dream. I was upset about something. And my mom, whose name is Mary, appeared to me in the dream. And she said, chill, let it be. It'll be all right. So Matt is going to play this for us, and he's got original sound, so it'll be sounding even better this time. Thank you, Matt. Spirit of life, the great mother, the great father, known by many, many names, the source from which we come. Thank you for the gift of this spring day. And thank you for the gift of this dear community. Thank you for the opportunity to take an hour out of our lives and come together and remind each other of what really matters, to bring each other, bring ourselves home to the truth. Thank you for this opportunity to celebrate those who have nurtured us, our biological and logical mothers, and those who have helped us, encouraged us along the way, whether they're born in a male or a female body, doesn't matter. The ones who have seen us and nurtured us. Let our hearts fill in gratitude and joy for all that we have been given. Thank you, gracious Spirit, for this immense flow of the divine feminine. And thank you for giving us the opportunity not just to receive, but to be instruments of love and light and joy in the world, to be the mothers, the nurturers, the creators. And in this time of transition and turmoil and opportunity, open in each one of us the possibility of birthing something new and wonderful into this world as everything is being recreated and reborn. Gracious Goddess, gracious God, thank you for the gift of this day and this gathered community. May it be so, blessed be. Amen. Now join me just for a minute of prayer and meditation. Feel your breath. The breath is an anchor. As your mind wanders, just bring it gently back to your breath. And let us open our hearts in joy and gratitude to all of the beauty, all that we have been given. And let us remember that power of our hearts to transform. We're living in a time of turmoil and challenge, and our heart has the power to breathe in the challenge and to breathe out love. Let us, as we breathe, remember those who are suffering, those who are lonely, those who are sick, those who are stressed, human and non-human brothers and sisters. And let us breathe in that challenge and breathe out love. So I invite you to bring your attention back to our collective gathering here. and feel yourself standing or sitting on the earth. Our ancient mother of the earth that holds all the joys, all the sorrows, able to encompass and hold and soothe it all. So you can join us in our song, Ancient Mother. I'll put the words up. If you brought your percussion instrument, this is the time for it. I'll mute myself.
Okay, I recorded a drone on the cello for us to have underneath this while we shake our percussion. So we'll sing through Ancient Mother 3 times. It's short. It's more powerful each time. So please join me. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother.
But we got most of it. Thank you. That was beautiful. Just the very last sentence came. Great. Thank you, Jolene. It's magical. Beautiful piece. Thank you so much. We are so delighted that Meredith has decided to join the congregation. Yahoo! So we do a little ceremony when we welcome a new member. Here we go. So Bob is the president of the congregation, is serving as the president now. Thank you so much, Bob, for serving in that role. So there's a part for Bob and there's a part for all of us. Go for it, Bob.
We are a church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. And we're pleased that you have decided to join our minds, hearts, and hands with ours.
And this we say together. So Meredith, we are delighted that you who are members, you can read this aloud with me. Meredith, we are delighted that you have found a spiritual home here among us. We welcome you into this supportive community where we encourage each other to question and to develop our own faith. We are grateful that you've chosen to join us in helping create a more just, loving, and sustainable world. We appreciate you as you are, and we look forward to getting to know you better. We promise to treat you with respect and to let ourselves be stretched by the blessing of the new perspective and ideas that you bring to us. Thank you for being with us. We welcome you, Meredith. And Meredith, here's a part for you to say.
I am pleased
you're unmuted.
to have found fellow seekers on the path. I look forward to sharing my gifts and perspectives. I promise that I will speak up and risk to propose a new idea, to share authentically when it feels right to me. I appreciate this community and your welcome, and I'm grateful to be home.
So sweet. Grateful to be home. That's really, really lovely. Um, and we have the book. Deb's got the signing book, the the membership book. So she's going to sign it in pencil for you. And then when we're all back together for real, and Kachina, you're on the call too today. Kachina joined a few weeks ago, and her name got written in. Your name got written in pencil, Kachina. So when we're all back together, we can actually write in. And you're all welcome to stay for the coffee hour and to have an opportunity to get to chat and get to know Meredith a little bit more. So let's part the essence of our membership is really captured in our affirmation. So let's say these words together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to serve all beings to the end that all shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with the source of our being. Well, welcome home, Meredith, and we'll chat more in the coffee hour time. Yay. Yes, really glad she's joined. Well, I'm actually gonna bring that document up one more time. So I have a question for you to start our service, our sermon on Mother's Day. The countries that have done the best in the COVID time, guess what they had in common in terms of their leaders? The leadership of the countries that did the best during the COVID virus, what did they have in common? Here on Mother's Day, let us celebrate by women. The power of the feminine. And as various different world leaders, as different analysts have tried to understand what was different? What did these women do differently that made them so successful? What is it about women's leadership style? And the various leaders, the analysts, came up with a couple of things. One is compassion, that they were moved from their hearts, concerned about those whom they serve. It wasn't a power over, it was compassion, connection with. And another aspect of female leadership, feminine leadership, that was demonstrated by these women that the analysts are trying to figure out how did they do it, is that they were okay in the ambiguity. There will be an answer. Let it be. Let it be. The wisdom of being able to stand in the unknown with ease. Something that feminine leadership characterizes, and that so many mothers and women demonstrate for us. So Neva, I'm actually going to turn it over to you. I can't even tell you how happy I am that you and I are having this opportunity to be together, that as we have talked and preparing for this service, we live in this time where the divine feminine is rising, not just in the form of women, but in the form of men as well. And what does this mean? As we are rebirthing, recreating the world, what does this mean? So share with us some of your wisdom, Neva.
Thank you, Melon. Well, like I said, I'm just so honored to be here. And this subject is really dear to my heart. At the Art Monastery, I would say we worship the divine feminine. We worship the Earth Mother, and we're constantly asking how can we rebalance? We need the divine masculine to stand in partnership with the divine feminine. We need that within our actual relationships with each other, but also within our individual bodies. And so I want to start today by sharing this image, which lists some masculine and feminine traits. So this might be very familiar to some folks and less so to others. And I'd like to draw your attention on this image where there's a lot of information to the natural masculine and the natural feminine. So that's the middle section on each side. And so I'll just give you a moment. You don't need to memorize, you don't need to go too deep, but just to take in some of these qualities. Okay, and what I'd like to highlight to start is the emphasis in the overculture, the dominant culture, the mainstream culture of masculine traits. So independent of your body, of your gender, there's a priority in the overculture that we're taught that things such as focus, being logical, being intellectual, being disciplined, being outwardly facing, being confident, that these are incredibly valued human traits. And if you are someone who is more tender, more kind, more intuitive, maybe more creative, oftentimes I think we're taught that that's inferior. And so this leads us to an incredible imbalance in our culture, in our world, but also in our own bodies. So I'm going to stop this share, but keep some of these with you. So as I was coming to prepare for this today, Melon and I had many conversations, and what I'd actually like to share with to start is the most maybe potent story for me around this. And I might get kind of emotional. It's actually the first time I'm sharing it really publicly. Um, so I'm 33, and as Melon said to you all, I've been dancing professionally all over the world for many years. And when I was 26, 27, I started to get really sick. And I started to have incredible pain, shooting pain in my chest and my belly. I started to have some rashes around my eyes and my mouth. And so that started to go on. It would come on, and I would become so sick that I would be in bed for 18, 20 hours a day. I'd have to quit whatever project I was working on. And then the symptoms would go away. And then I would go right back to like traveling, pursuing my career, being so productive, being so activated. And this was happening, it started happening over and over. I'd go into these months of being very ill. And I would see doctors, and doctors would say, "You seem healthy. We don't know what to tell you." And so finally, about 2.5 years ago, I started to have some internal bleeding, and it became much more serious. And so I went to have a bunch more testing done, as we're all maybe familiar with going to the hospital, going to the doctor. It's quite scary. And I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And this was at 30, 31. I just turned 31. And the doctor said to me, "We don't know what causes this. There is no cure. Your only option is to take this very strong medication every day for the rest of your life, that with health insurance is very expensive still. And it's likely going to get a lot worse." Sorry to tell you. This was in January. And I was just shocked. I mean, I had been sick on and off for many years, but to get this diagnosis, to be hit with this information of like, your life trajectory is now really different, it floored me. And that month I spent, it was very snowy in Vermont, we all know. And I just spent time by the river in the snow, just sobbing, just asking, like, why is this happening? To have doctors say, and I think it happens commonly, say, "We don't know why and we have no cure." And I feel this like, is that true? Is that truth for someone to say that? And at the same time, tell me what it's going to do in my life. This is your life trajectory. I can't tell you why we have no cure, but this is how it will be for you, increasingly worse. And so I cried and cried and cried and asked for help. Like, I know there must be something here for me. And there was this small growing voice inside I really felt it in my belly. And it got a little louder each time I would kind of have these breakdowns. And it was saying to me, this is not your path. And, so I'm kind of saying back to this voice, whatever you want to call it, then what is? Like, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. I need help. And slowly, I believe that I was guided towards many natural healers, people who work in medicine. And most of those people were older women who I believe carried the wisdom that I needed. And I have been on a natural path of recovery for the past 2.5 years and am basically symptom free at this point. And thank you, almost everything that it has been a life change. It has been completely unfolding me, completely, from my innards, like changing me. And almost every part of this healing process has been one of these feminine qualities. Let me share this screen again. So, in my personal healing journey, it has been to slow down. It has been to find this stillness. It's been to surrender. It's been to get emotional, to get sensitive, to let it be okay to feel. It's been not pushing, but finding ease. It's been learning to let go of having to understand and coming into following my intuition, finding creative solutions that aren't the mainstream. So these are the things for me that have drastically changed my health and are in the process of changing my external life. So when I was preparing for this sermon today and thinking, why do I care so much about this? It's because in my own body, I feel I felt how much I've been taught to value masculine principles and actually to overextend them, get to the point where my masculine side is so drained, it can't function. It's been taxed so much because it hasn't been supported by my feminine side. And I actually don't feel like I kind of knew how to be in my feminine side. And so this process over the past few years of recovering has been so much being taught, looking especially to women, but to all people who understand that balance in their bodies, men, women, queer folks who have this understanding of the balance of masculine and feminine energies and who are doing that work in the world. And I believe that so much that's happening in our culture and with our relationship to the earth is driven by an exhausted masculine. And so in our service today, I wanted to share this because I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we're able as individuals, as a community, to rebalance, to bring ourselves back into health, to find the divine feminine, to stand with the divine masculine in a partnership model, not a power over model. And I think we can help each other on that journey. And I think Mother's Day is an incredible moment. Springtime, mothers, wisdom of the divine feminine, wisdom of the mothers, the grandmothers in each of us, that we each have these archetypes in us. This is the day to start to bring them forward, especially in the time of COVID, when the world is flipping around. What's going to be born out of this? I think we each have the ability to birth, to mother our piece of that forward and let that transform our own health, our own lives, and be of service in our communities. So we're going to do an exercise to bring that forth in each of us. And it's an exercise that I do often. So I'm so grateful to have the chance to share it with you.
Shall we do your mom's reading?
We are going to do that first. We're going to start with it.
I'm not sure what the order is. Okay, great. And Julaine also has a song for us. So yeah, go for it.
Great. So my mom and I have had this wonderful collaboration for this sermon, which is, again, such a gift. And I was sharing this exercise I want to share with her, and she found, to me, the most amazing reading to support exactly what we're looking to do in this next exercise. So let's have the reading, and then let's have the music, and then we'll do it together. Go ahead, Mom.
These are words from Lucy Pierce in a book called Burning Woman. The deep feminine, the mystery of consciousness, she who is life, is longing for our transformation as much as we are. She holds back, allowing us free rein to choose, nudging us occasionally with synchronicities, illness, births, and death. But when we make space for her, she rushes into all the gaps, engulfing us with her desire for life and expression. This is what she longs for. This is what we are for, experiencing the feminine through ourselves. We simply need to slow down and find where to put our conscious attention. And it is this, the willingness to look again, the willingness to put consciousness onto our places of unconscious, to express what we have always avoided, which starts the process of unblocking, so she may flow through. Who is she? She is your power, your feminine source. Big Mama, the goddess, the great mystery, the web weaver, the life force. The first time, the 20th time, you may not recognize her or pretend not to hear as she fills your body with ripples of terror and delight. But when she calls you, you will know you have been called. And then it is up to you to decide if you will answer.
Let's let that settle with the music. Okay, so I'm going to lead us in a small guided exercise. So I invite you to find a way to sit that's comfortable, but has a sense that you're in yourself. So it can be upright, it can be leaning back, but you take a moment to gather yourself into your center in a way that feels easeful. And allow yourself to rest into the support of the earth. So you don't have to do any extra work here. We're just allowing ourselves to come home to our bodies, resting on the earth. If it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes. And bring your attention to your breath. And if you can, find a breath that moves into the belly. So we soften the belly. And as you inhale, you let this breath move in your belly. Allow your awareness to rest in the center of the low belly, in the center of the low belly. Just this act of bringing our awareness out of our face and our head into the low belly has a powerful shift in the body towards grounding, towards bringing in this creative spirit, this feminine spirit. And I invite you with the attention here in the low belly, in the center of the low belly. In some traditions, we call this space the hara. In some people's physical bodies, there is a womb here. And I offer you today that in all of our bodies, there is a creative, deeply centered center of yourself that you could say a celestial womb, or a place where your life force births new things. So let your awareness rest there in this low place in your belly. And listen. And if there's a question that you're holding in your life, ask that question. Ask that question to this space. And see if you can welcome whatever comes. It might come in words, it might come in colors, it might come in images. What is looking to be born in your life? What is your gift in this time to bring forth into the world? Just another moment or two to be in this space. You have so much power in your body, in your life, and the world needs each of us. What is looking to be born in your life? What is looking to be nurtured? Breathe into that space and see if you can be brave to hear whatever comes. I invite you to take your piece of paper. This will be just for you. We won't show them to everyone, but to write down for yourself what you got, whatever came to you. And maybe it needs more time, right? So maybe if you felt something was coming and you couldn't quite grasp it, maybe you can give yourself 10 minutes later today, 20 minutes to be with this beautiful deep part of the body where I believe there's a possibility to balance the masculine and feminine. But write down whatever you got. You got the color blue or a plant. There's potency in these symbols. And to close this moment together, if something came to you, think in your mind, what is a first baby step I could actually take? Whatever it is, what's the tiniest step that I could do today, maybe? So small that would help to birth this new thing in my life. And let that knowledge that you have this wisdom in your body and you have the ability to take that step, and let that just resonate. This form of bringing ourselves into our abilities, so important. Okay, I close this with a bow. Thank you so much for joining me on this small journey this morning. Feel so grateful to have a chance to share. May you be so well.
Thank you so much, Neva. That was lovely. And for taking the risk of sharing your own journey, your own challenges around illness and healing and coming to your own power. Wow. That's a sacred story, and I feel honored that you gifted us with that part of your life. Thank you. We, in these interesting, challenging times that we live in, we can look to those who have gone before us and also lived in interesting and challenging times. And one such person is Julian of Norwich. She was an anchorite, and she lived in medieval Europe. She lived during the plague. She was a healer. She was an herbalist. She was an artist. She was a musician. She was a teacher. Very powerful woman in the Catholic Church at a time where the church, well, still the case, what am I talking about? Where the church doesn't acknowledge the spiritual leadership of women, and yet she did it. And she gifted us with this song. She sang this song during the plague. So here in our time of COVID-19, we can turn to this song for solace and for strength. So I'm going, I think maybe we know the words by now. I'll pop them up on the screen, but then I don't think we need to, I think we know them. So once you see them, there we go. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. That's the totality of it. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. So I'm going to unshare that, mute myself, and unmute Julaine, and Julaine's going to lead us. Thank you.
So we have two melodies here. We have a melody of the chant, and then I'm going to suggest an ostinato, which is a sung drone like we had earlier, and it was actually very very common in medieval music to have a drone as an initial form of polyphonic music. So the first, the ostinato, if somebody just wants to sing that, it's much easier. You're just going to sing, all shall be well. So if you want to just sing that, or you can sing the regular melody with the rest of us. But if you try singing the ostinato, you'll get a really, really beautiful thing against what everyone else is doing. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All manner of things shall be well.
Thank you so much, Julaine, and Neva, and Jude, and Matt, and Bob, and Meredith, and every single one of you for being here together this morning. If you have found community here, treasure it. And we're here every Sunday. Come on back. Let this be your touchstone of connection and hope and uplift. If you have found challenge here, go and sit quietly with whatever is evolving in your being. And if you have found hope here, manifest it out into the world in your unique way, listening to what is being born in you, a source of hope and light and love in our beautiful and broken world. Hear these closing words again, what I opened with from Mizoke Sheng. I have found the goddess in myself, and I have loved her fiercely.